Wanted to let you know in person. We wanted to just quickly make a clip for you. We are
another video from the Sports Scoop. Week 1 of the NFL is upon us. By the time you're seeing it, I believe a game should be happening in a couple hours.
Scoop. It's your favorite NFL Week 8 predictions.
Hello and welcome back to another video of the Sports Scoop. Today we're going to be going over our Week 11 NFL predictions.
Welcome back to another The Sports Scoop video. Today we're going to be doing some NFL predictions.
I have an upset alert here. I have the Washington football team upsetting people and winning this game 27-14.
Their ending is going to be like...
Freaking sucks. And today we'll be going over why he should not be a head coach of the New York Jets ever.
Officially, 2 teams ruled out of the playoffs for 2020 for the Jets and now the Jaguars.
Rookie of the year. I think this one, it's a really tough one. There have been a lot of outstanding rookies, and it's a really toss-up at this point. But I'm going to give it to the Chargers rookie, Justin Herbert. I mean, he started off on the bench, but when he came in, he was
Against Pittsburgh. Now this could potentially be the game of the week. The Steelers, obviously hottest team in the NFL, 10-0. Ravens have looked good, but not
Breaking news. We haven't done a breaking news video in a while, but head coach of the Lions, Matt Patricia, have been fired. First NFL mock draft from the channel. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Sports Scoop. We are doing our first, as I said, NFL mock
decent strategy for fantasy football this year was to just camp the waiver wire and pick up every single player that put it against the Jets.
seconds to rant about this team. The Washington football team had the perfect opportunity to beat the Detroit Lions, and instead of taking this game to overtime, they managed to give up a 59-yard field goal in the last 5 seconds. How do they even do
Hello,
this?
everybody. Welcome back to another The Sports Scoop video. Who would have thought we have made it to the last prediction video of the 2020 NFL season?
go team.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Not a video, another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Super Bowl 55 is upon us. Serge, what are your thoughts to Super Bowl? Best day of the year in the NFL. What are your thoughts?
Of course, I'm really excited. It's gonna be, hopefully a really good game. I'm expecting, as usual, some great football. COVID's all clear. We don't really have that many. Everyone should be able to play. Great, and looking forward to a good game. I think there are a lot of things taken into account, and can't wait.
Man, crazy. We're already at the Super Bowl.
I know, right?
It is actually crazy.
Season's gone by really fast.
It has
It's
gone
just
by really
crazy.
fast. Sorry, I'm not a Saints fan. You know what? I'm flipping the hat around so you don't see the Saints. So I'm just gonna get people who are like, "Oh, Kean, but my hair looks terrible." I'm not gonna show my hair. Like I actually need to get a haircut. It's kind of bad. But Super Bowl predictions. Let's talk about Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. What's the dynamic there? Who will come out on top? Who needs to come out on top? Sorry, let's start with this. If Mahomes loses this game, does he get hitbacks? Is anything knocked down on his career, or is it's Mahomes? He'll be back.
So I've heard this circulating a lot within a lot of NFL people, like Tony Romo. He said that if Mahomes loses to Brady, then he's never going to catch him. Brady's the GOAT. He defines it. Mahomes never catches him. It's really tough because there's a number of things taken into account, like who has the better supporting cast, who has the better defense, who has the better coach. It's a lot of things taken into account. And remember, after the Super Bowl, no matter what, Mahomes will still only be 25 and Brady will be 43. So we still don't know, how many Super Bowls, how well will Mahomes do. But I feel like this could be it's still a really game. I think it will really do a lot for both players' legacies and how they go down, because I think there's a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks, because I think right now, this isn't the best and second best quarterback ever, because Mahomes is too young to be considered that. But it seems like with the path that we're going down, these are going to be the 2 best quarterbacks ever by the time both quarterbacks retire. Who knows? Maybe Mahomes will retire before Brady with how this is going. But I think it's going to be I think it's really important for both quarterbacks because considering again, their series at the series right now, they're tied at 2-2 with like both quarterbacks have won 2 and lost 2 against each other. So I obviously they'll say Brady and Mahomes say, "Oh, it's about the team, it's about the Bucks and Chiefs," and obviously their focus mainly goal is to win the Super Bowl. But I can't imagine they're not thinking about, "Oh my God, this could be a huge game. This might be the game that they talk about in terms of who's better in the GOAT debate." Because we never had those games. We don't usually have those games where it's like two of the greatest quarterbacks ever of different eras playing against each other. Like we always wanted to see Montana versus Brady or Manning versus Favre. We never got to see those matchups. So just the fact that we're gonna be able to see it is just a privilege in its own right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like I do to the point where Romo, if Mahomes doesn't beat I feel like if Mahomes doesn't win, yes. If any quarterback loses in the Super Bowl, you get kickback. I mean, obviously Rodgers lost and people are questioning did he deserve MVP. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it's one of those things where if Mahomes loses, yeah, there will be a hit on his career, a hit on can he be better than Brady, and there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, like at the end of the day. But the thing is, I would say if anything, this is the first time in a Super Bowl there hasn't been a favorite. I don't think that the Chiefs are the favorite. I don't think the Bucks are the favorite. I have the Bucks winning, but I have no conviction when I say that, which I've seen so many people talk about. No one has conviction when they're like, yeah, this team will win. So no, I don't have conviction that they will win this game. I think it's just going to be such a close game. I think you just look at Mahomes and Brady have different skill sets. They both generally have. I mean, which team has a better offense? Yeah, the Chiefs, but the Bucks when they're high firing are amazing. And as well, I would say overall the Bucks probably have more players, more depth, more weapons. They have Godwin, Evans, they have Gronk, they have Brate who's been playing well. They have better running backs. They have a better offensive line. They have a better defense. I mean, it's all pointing towards why can't the Bucks go out and win this game? And I think right now, it's who do you think? I think it might be Mahomes' game to lose, and I think for Brady, it's kind of, he's 43. If he loses the game, he's 43. I mean, it's his first year with a new team. He's been clashing with his head coach. If they're to win this, it just further shows why he's the GOAT. It's a tough one to predict, to be quite honest with you, but yeah.
Yeah, if we're talking about really who has more pressure, I think it's easily Mahomes. I think some people say Brady. I think it's Mahomes because if Brady loses, it's exactly what you said. It's the first year, no off season, no real off season, no OTAs, none of that stuff to really get assimilated, and he still takes his team to the Super Bowl in his first season in a new conference. Mm-hmm. And even if he loses the Super Bowl, it could be like, well, Chiefs are one of the greatest teams. I know this hot take, but one of the greatest teams ever. And it's a team that really has great chemistry and his experience. And Brady just got here, and he's 43. So I feel like there's a lot more excuses to be made if Brady loses than if Mahomes, you lose to a 43-year-old man who just got into a new conference, and Brady takes the lead in terms of career record over him, and Mahomes is supposed to be in his prime now. So I feel like Mahomes has a lot more pressure, but I think again, that could be a huge effect, and I think it could go really either way in terms of that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, think about it like this. I mean, let's break down off. We've talked about offense enough. Talk about Brady Mahomes. What's going on, Jay? How you been? How you doing? Jay's in the building. Defensively, the Bucks have the advantage, but the Chiefs' defense has stepped up. I mean, we saw they dismantled the Bills, and it wasn't just because of their offense. I think their offense was clinical. They had 5 touchdowns on 5 red zone drives, but you look at their defensively, the secondary, which L'Jarius Sneed, the rookie, is their best guy. And then you look defensively, obviously Chris Jones hasn't been amazing. Frank Clark hasn't been great. So it's a tough one. So, I mean, defensively, Surge, you're looking at both of these teams. What's the key? I think I'm going to go key. They need to get an interception early. I think the Bucks do. I think they need to get pressure on the first drive, and I think they need to go 3 and out in the first drive against Mahomes, because I think if you let them score in the first drive, and here's the thing, if you let them score or shoot back, it depends. I think if you go into the game and the Chiefs score and the Bucks can't, I think it's going to be a completely different game, which is why football is such an amazing game, because you have all these predictions, and then a minute into the game, your prediction's out the window. So it's a tough one, to be quite honest with you. But Serge.
Yeah, I think if you watch that Niners Chiefs Super Bowl last year, the Chiefs really didn't play a good game for three and a half quarters. Mahomes didn't, and the reason why they were able to do that is because they got. I said this on multiple occasions that if the Bucks need to win,
Yeah.
they can do this because they're a really good team. They have to get pressure on 4-man rushes. That's the main thing, I think, in my opinion. You have to get pressure on Mahomes without blitzing because Mahomes is really good against the blitz. And with Kansas City having a really depleted offensive line, I think there's a potential that they're playing with 4 backups in the Super Bowl on the offensive line. Tampa Bay can definitely do that, which means Andy Reid's probably going to be calling a lot of RPOs, those quick passing games, because they don't want Mahomes to get hit too much early in the game, which could definitely happen considering how Tampa Bay's deep front 7 is really that good. So I think it'll be a really important thing to see how this game goes from the start. How much is Mahomes getting hit? How is the Tampa Bay defensive rush getting to him?
Yeah. What's going on, Sports Nerds? How you doing? I think offensively, the goal for the Chiefs, I think, certainly is you're not going to get a run game. Maybe you do. I don't think you will. Is Edwards-Helaire healthy? You saw Williams is good, but you're not going to get this defense. This Bucs defense got hot at the right time. They have the best linebacking core in the league, 2 incredibly explosive linebackers. They have a great defensive line, Shaq Barrett. You have everything you need on defensive line. Vita Vea is back, which is not good for this, injury ravaged Chiefs offensive line. I mean, you obviously Duvernay Tardif, he's done his work, and obviously respect to him. And then you obviously have Fisher's out, and now Schwartz is out, and is Ryder out?
Ryder might be, I think.
Ryder, I think. I mean, it's the story of COVID. There's nothing they can do about it. It's the story of COVID in this season. Players get injured more frequently. Players are put on COVID reserve more frequently. And I think this isn't as related to COVID as it's more injuries, obviously. But, I mean, we saw it with the Eagles. They had, several backups. They had like 8 different sets of offensive linemen through a couple weeks. And I think for Mahomes, the thing for him, though, is you look at it, Mahomes, I think, is the highest completion percentage when under pressure out of quarterbacks this season. I mean, Mahomes, I think, getting pressure it'll obviously be a roadblock, but I don't think it'll be a stopper for him. So it's not just this defensive line. I mean, can these linebackers obviously cover Kelsey? It's about chip blocks. It's about, can the secondary play well? Do we know if Winfield and Whitehead are back?
I think Winfield is back. Whitehead, I'm not sure. I'll check that now. Let me check that.
Barrett, who's going to feast to feast more since Eric Fisher is not playing. Yeah, Fisher's not playing. JPP or Barrett, I think Barrett will, since his size. I think he has better finesse moves. JPP is just more of a power rusher. But I think it certainly does depend. It's not an easy one to predict, to be quite honest with you. Again, this is a Super Bowl where it's very, very, very hard to be like, yeah, this team has this. I mean, both teams have quite comparable offense, and I think if anything, the Bucs have the upper hand. I mean, you think about it.
Okay, so let me tell you the game report. So, Jordan Whitehead and Antoine Winfield will be playing. Cameron Braid is questionable for a back injury.
Okay.
And Antonio Brown is still questionable, but he was full practice during Friday.
So
I would assume he would play. I don't think AB would miss the Super Bowl. And then
if you're battling a small injury, you might as well play it out. I know that's not a good thing to say, but what's going on, MG Productions? Search on YouTube. I want to ask you about this. Coaching wise, who's out coached, who's not?
So who's a better coach?
Yeah.
For me, it's easy, Andy Reid. I think what he's been able to recently, I think over his entire career, I mean, yes, he probably has the more talented roster, but the way how well he's been able to build this roster around his player skill set to make it virtually unstoppable. I mean, he's really revolutionized what a modern offense can be. And I think Bruce Arians, he's solid, but I really haven't seen that from him where he can be that expert coach who can really build a team around his skill set until like later in the season where he kind of realized that Tom doesn't execute as well in a purely air raid system, and he let Tom really have more control of the offense, which was why the Bucks really succeeded more in the second half of the season. So I think right now it's easily Andy Reid. I think easily the head coach advantage goes to him. And especially considering the fact that he's already, I mean, Bruce Arians also, but not as a head coach. Bruce Arians has not been here. And considering that Andy Reid's been here twice, I think it's a big advantage for Kansas City there.
Yeah. And this is a great question from Jay. Do you think that people will say the game was fixed if Brady, if the Bucks win? It's a very.
Oh, there are always people who say things are fixed.
Yeah,
I'm. Oh, sorry. Wait.
That's where you go.
I once saw someone online who said when Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals that the reason why he was missing was because there were magnetic goalposts that caused it to go wide. There are always out there people who are saying everything is fixed. I mean, of course we technically don't know, but the amount of secretiveness and things to go their way to pull off fixing a whole game. I mean, refs can fix a game, but in order to like fix a game, like in terms of telling people to throw a game or something like that, or it's all theater, that's wild. There's no way that could happen, especially with all the injuries, just to fix a game. I just can't. There's almost no way it could be fixed. Although refs, I mean, the only real way a game could be fixed is by ref ball. It's like if people's like maybe refs could get paid, but even that I usually consider unlikely. So people always will say
you guys can ask questions down below if you do have them. We always respond. But let's talk specific coaches wise, not just head coach. We got Bieniemy. I think Bieniemy is out coach. I think defensively, I would say it's probably Bucks in terms of coaching, but
I think one of the more. Oh, sorry.
No,
I think one of the more underrated matches was Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs OC, versus Todd Bowles, the Bucks defensive coordinator. I think really 2 of the most underrated coaches in the NFL, both who, in my opinion, could really be head coaching candidates next year. The way they've been doing, how well they've tinkered with their respective units, and I think it'll be a really real chess match, and it'll be a good game.
Yeah, that's a great point. Defense. I mean, Bieniemy and Reid are, I would say, the best. Coaching wise, I think the Chiefs are the best. Arians is good, but I feel like it's more Tom Brady kind of moves this offense around, and I think fair enough. I mean, Brady probably has more experience than Arians does in the NFL. I mean, it's just Brady's 43. But secondary wise, if you guys didn't see Surge's analysis video on it was our most recent video. No, sorry, second most recent video on the defense against let's talk about that, Surge. So obviously we talked about that they at the end of the game the Bucks ran 2 high shells. If you guys don't know what that means that
2 safeties up top.
2 safeties up top. Owen Taylor, just what I said. Yep, I completely agree. I mean, offensively,
honestly, somewhat. Even Arians has admitted a bit that he kind of lets Brady control. Oh, sorry. He kind of lets Brady control the offense a bit more, especially considering after that Chiefs loss, that's the game really where he more went to Brady to really kind of handle the offense, realizing he's one of the best game managers in NFL history. So. I think it's kind of a partnership, really, and I think Tom Brady really has a more and more heavy influence as the season has gone on. Also, Brian Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, he also has a really big influence. I feel like he's really created a game plan.
And that comment goes to the type of thing where people say, is Brady a system quarterback? Because everyone was like, it's all Belichick, because obviously Belichick ran that team, and I think we've seen now that Brady isn't. If you guys follow these Sports Scoop clips on YouTube, you saw that Dylan's point of emphasis was in our Super Bowl predictions that Brady's not a system quarterback. He can do it without, a coach kind of scouring over him. Again, Surge's point was Belichick really a great coach if now Tom Brady isn't the system guy? Obviously, that's a different video. I don't think Belichick was. I think he's probably the best coach ever.
Yeah, I think so too. I think really just that people kind of question his greatness considering how well Brady's played without him, and people forget how good Belichick was.
Yeah, but I feel like certain teams, you look at the Browns, and you have Baker Mayfield, who isn't as good when he has to do what normal quarterback does, like throw the ball majority of the game. They have great running backs. You run it to him. And I think that's what gives this Bucs team versatility. You have Brady who can throw the ball every single down. I mean, Serge, what do you think about? I mean, I think he can. Brady is not every. I'm saying more than regular. That's obviously not every single down, but I'm saying they have versatility because they have a dual threat backfield in Jones and Fournette, and then you have 5 great receivers, which the Chiefs again. We kind of veered off. Let's talk about the Bucs defense. So obviously 2 eye shells. What do you think the defensive plan for this Buccaneers team? Obviously Tyreek Hill. You can't let him. Just absolutely run past you and take the top of the defense. But again, if you have 2 high shells, you leave the middle of the field wide open for Kelsey, who's been absolutely, devastating for teams in the middle where he just catches those first down. And suddenly you're in the red zone. And you have to defend the Chiefs in the red zone, who are terrible and then now are incredible. And if you guys saw, sir, obviously Brett Coleman's video where he talked about how this Chiefs offense has, basically it's gone another step in its evolution and now is adapted and become even better, as now they have an incredible red zone defense. But defensive plan for Bulls and this Bucs defense, what is it?
I think, honestly, I know this sounds like a lot of generalities, but really show them different looks, because here's the scariest thing about the Kansas City offense, in my opinion. You can't run man because you have to put man to man on Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. You can't run zone because Mahomes tears up zone. He's just too smart.
Yeah.
And you can't run blitz because, again, Mahomes is so effective at the blitz and finding the open target. So the only solution really is to do what the Niners did, run everything. You have to disguise every look. Show them one thing on one play, show them another on the next one. And also, I think one of the most important things to going against Patrick Mahomes is self-scouting, because whatever you're looking at when you're looking at your own defense, Mahomes is probably looking at too. So you got to recognize that he noticed that. He will notice that, and he'll say, okay, let's show him something different than what we've done all year. And I know that's risky, but when you're going against a quarterback like Mahomes, you need to kind of change up your tendencies, kind of throw him off guard, because he will pick up on that very fast. He's one of the most dedicated studiers of the game that I've seen. I think that's what really makes him unfair, in my opinion. And I think...
And back to it, it's because even that, I mean, Mahomes is not going to be ineffective even if you run different looks. Obviously, that is what you have to do against a quarterback that can read everything and virtually get out of any situation, because he's the most dynamic player and the best player in the league. No shot to Aaron Rodgers there, but defensively, I think the Bucs, as you said, need to run a ton of different looks. I think linebacking wise, I think Devin White and Levante David need to be all over the field. And I think they need to run blitzes with Devin White, who's been lethal. He's gotten like 3 sacks in 2 minutes. And I think you need to pressure this Chiefs offensive line. I think it's going to need to be more blitzes than zone and man. And I know obviously Mahomes can get out of that. But I think if you can get sacks and if you can get him run out of the pocket, I mean, you'd rather Mahomes make an incredible out of the pocket, no look sidearm throw than have space in the pocket to look at the field, go through his progressions and find someone. So
yeah. Oh yeah, no, you guys. Sorry, you guys finish your point. I'm interrupting you all the time. I'm sorry about that. 2 things. First of all, I think definitely, obviously, bring pressure sometimes. You can't just run 4-man rush every time. So I think probably you have to be careful about when you're blitzing, but obviously blitz a few times, but also really rely on that 4-man rush. Trust them to get some Mahomes and make him get the ball out fast. And my second point is, it's not really a point. I just saw this question in the chat by Sports Alert.
Oh yeah, let me.
Topic. What is the? I thought that was a good one. Can I?
Yeah.
So, I think that's a really good question, because there's really a lot of interesting
they won't
things that the Patriots. I mean, obviously they probably won't, because I don't know if we'll ever see a dynasty like New England ever again. Kansas City, maybe.
So the closest.
I know. I think the only really
dynasty video.
Yeah, and I think really the what they have to do though to even get somewhat close, even first step, you're starting from scratch if you're New England. You have to accept that the dynasty is over. It's over. It's done. You're mediocre again. And I think it really has to start over. You have to decide, okay, our roster has a lot of holes. Like they don't have that many really good wide receivers. They don't really have that many good running backs. They don't really have a quarterback in place. They don't have an offense really.
Yeah.
Their offensive, their defense is still really good, I think.
A ton of
that's what Belichick likes. Belichick wants a really good defense, a defense that he can really rely on because he loves to coach the defense. As you know, he's a defensive coordinator before he was a head coach. So if you're New England, though, they do have a lot of salary cap money. I think that's really important. I think whether or not they go for a quarterback in free agency or the draft, or who knows, maybe they trade for one, remains to be seen. But I think they need to use it. One of the best things about the Patriots, one of the things I've always admired, is their ability to sign crucial free agents at value or even below value.
Right.
This is when it's going to be more valuable than ever. They need to find those players in free agency, which in my opinion, they're not great drafters, but they're great at finding talent in free agency. Like they signed Cam Newton for $2 million, which is crazy little money for a quarterback.
I mean, it was good.
I know it wasn't that good, but like still $2 million for a quarterback, that's really low. So they maybe you target Allen Robinson. I don't know, but the problem is the biggest problem right now. I know I'm rambling on. It's my last point. The biggest problem though with the Patriots right now is they're no longer that attractive destination for free agents because with Brady leaving, all they are is just a mediocre team with a lack of talent and a head coaching staff that really isn't that attractive to play for. So it's going to be really difficult, but they definitely need to sign. I think they need wide receivers, which they should probably get in the draft. They need running backs. I mean, a running back. Actually, they don't really need running back. They need to really rebuild that offensive line, especially considering it seems more and more likely that Joe Tooney is leaving. So really focus on rebuilding that offense through the draft and free agency, and they need to get better at drafting because they haven't been up to par, especially with the N'Keal Harry pick in the first round a couple years ago. So it's gonna be tough.
This situation isn't out of the way. I mean, who knows? Maybe they trade up and get Trevor Lawrence. I know that sounds stupid, and I know that sounds very dumb. Who knows? That won't happen. Now that I say it, it sounds stupid. But no, yeah, I mean, Belichick with cap space is scary because we've seen them with not that much cap and sign incredible free agents. I think, again, there will not be a dynasty. I can definitively tell you that there will not be a dynasty like the Brady one. I mean, you basically had everyone. Brady, it was perfect. Brady had his contract renegotiated, so they had more money, and which I think they could do in Tampa Bay. But let's get on to Jay Rios' question, more Super Bowl related. Do y'all think the historic play is going to happen in this game? Historic meaning like the Tyree catch? Yeah. I think, yeah, because that's what happened to every Super Bowl. There will be a defining moment that either wins or loses you the game. And I think the winning play for this game is going to be a red zone fade to Mike Evans, 2-minute drill in the last quarter, and the Bucs will win the game.
Wow, that's very specific. I agree with you. I think every year there is a memorable play, but I think what he's talking about is like iconic. Like,
right, okay.
When you think of Giants Patriots, you think David Tyree, you think Mario Manningham, and when you think of Steelers Cardinals, you think that last minute Santonio Holmes catch. Mm-hmm. I think those are really hard to decipher because
Tyreek Hill catch.
It really depends on well, I wouldn't say it's iconic, but it was definitely memorable. But like, there's these catches that they last like a couple of lifetimes because there'll never be another Santonio Holmes catch. There'll never be a David Tyree catch. But there's a lot of other possibilities for catches that will never happen again, which makes them iconic. And I think with these explosive offenses, and these really good underrated defenses, in my opinion, I think really that someone's going to make a big play in this game. Whether or not it's iconic remains to be seen. But I think if here's the one thing I will say. If there's any Super Bowl that would have an iconic moment, this one seems like one of the most likely. It just fits perfectly. Brady versus Mahomes. It's just...
Yeah, these two offenses, there's no way that an iconic play doesn't happen, to be honest with you. I mean, Tyreek Hill, there's no way he doesn't get a massive catch. I don't think that I think the Bucs are trying to understand that that's going to happen at least once, but hold it to a minimum because Tyreek Hill is at the end of the day, run two eye shells or not. It might happen. Either a corner gets busted. Seriously, you have to admit it. It will most likely happen. You have Mike Evans, who I don't think and I think that's going to be a massive problem. The Chiefs just don't have the corner depth to cover 5 receivers and Gronk, who
they have. That's true. That is true.
Let me give you a situation. Last play, winning drive, throw Gronk to Brady to Gronk touchdown. What are the thoughts on that?
Gronk to Brady would be pretty cool. But what do you mean? What are my thoughts on that? Like, what do you mean exactly by that?
What that what are the like? What do you think? Like, if that were to happen, what do you think? What do you think the possibilities of it are to happen?
I think it's very possible, especially considering if they're going inside the 20. I think his favorite weapons there are Mike Evans, Cameron Brate, and Gronk. I think look for those three weapons. I think Kansas City, they really have good corners and good safeties. Their secondary is probably, in my opinion, it's close to elite, especially considering how many decent weapons they have. Close. It's not elite yet, but
which talking Chiefs?
yeah, chalk and Chiefs, like close to elite.
I think they're one free agent signing away.
Yeah, I agree. And then so I think if you're Brady, especially in a Super Bowl, in a moment where it all comes down to this, he's probably going to look to someone who he's really experienced with. And even though Gronk's 31, he's still good. He can still make those contested catches. And I think I wouldn't say it's insanely as unlikely as people would think, but again, it's a Super Bowl. Anything can happen. You never know.
Yeah. But I mean, it's tough. It is tough. I mean, there's just so many factors that play into this game. I mean, like so many. Sportster says, I think I deserve a shout out. I don't think you do.
Too bad you already did.
We got a comment, 4 viewers, LMFAO.
Nice. Oof.
Maybe I can't read. Doesn't say 4, but we're not going to play into the hate surge. We don't promote cyberbullying. It's not fun. No, but
I mean, I think I did. That was, I don't know if I'm ever going to recover from that.
Majestic said 4 viewers. Oh my god.
Oof.
Oh man. God, that, you know, I'm gonna end the live stream. That's really just like, that's what's gonna sit with me. Like, someone said I had 4 viewers. Oh. Sorry, guys.
Okay, we're off topic. Let's get back. Hey, no, Sports Alert, don't leave us now.
No, yeah, Sports Alerts. Yeah, guys, go follow him on Instagram. But that's not even his name on Instagram anymore. You have to update the profile. It's Red Zone Blitz. And then Mojer B on his design account. But Surge, let's talk. What have we not talked about? It's I don't like, what have we not talked about?
I think honestly, let's see. Well, I think we're talking about questions. We're talking about questions.
What's going on? Hey, what's going on?
What's up? Okay. I think really, the weather's nice today.
The weather is nice today. It's snowing.
The weather, it's really snowing. It's snowed a lot in the past few days.
That we've had. We have to actually talk about the Super Bowl. All right.
I know.
Let's go back to Brady Mahomes. Brady loses the game. What happens?
I think it really does less for. It doesn't really hurt Brady's legacy too much, considering he was. Hey, what's up, the sports star? The sports star. My bad. I think for Brady, it doesn't really hurt his legacy too much, considering he's 43 and again is in a new offense. There's a ton of, I'm not gonna say excuses, more reasons for him not to be able to beat one of the best young quarterbacks ever in Patrick Mahomes, and a really great coach and a really great receiving core. So I think it doesn't hurt him too much. It more helps Mahomes' legacy because now he's already won 2 Super Bowls in his first 3 seasons as starters, and really gives him the chance to really overcome Brady in that GOAT debate. And not after the Super Bowl if he wins, but like it gives him the pathway to do it over a long career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if Mahomes wins it, I think he'll be better than Brady. I'm gonna say it.
Not now, no. Over his career.
His career.
Oh, so you're predicting that if Mahomes wins, then he will end up being better than Brady at the end of his career.
Even if he doesn't, I think Mahomes is incredible. I think Mahomes will be better. And Surge,
I can see that, honestly. I think. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Significantly better than Brady was.
Significantly, that's that. I mean, Brady won 6 Super Bowls.
I don't think you can be significantly better. I don't know if there's more. I don't know if you can have more success than Brady's have. You literally have had the ideal football career. You could probably won it with. All right, you should do a video. You're going to cash in after Super Bowl, even the salary cap is set at 100. Yeah, we will actually announce this. We have 12 guys on here. We will so obviously if you guys are new or old to the channel, we do, Jay, you're new, but we did Buster Boom series. So basically we try to do every NFL team after the draft and free agency and talk about what is good, like we predict their season. But before that, this year we're going to talk about try and do every single team 5 draft targets, and then we're going to do what they should
Free
do.
agent targets also, right?
Free agent. I just stuck the middle finger. I did not mean to do
Kian, come on. You can't do that to the audience.
free agents, cuts, trades, stuff like that. We might have to merge both. We'll see, but it'll be a rebuilding recap. Just
we're gonna need all the content we can get over that off season. It's a long time.
A lot of big news videos. It'll be more than the regular season. To be honest,
we're gonna stretch it out. We're gonna make sure we
try to get the most content out.
Yeah.
There'll be a Super Bowl recap. Have to do that, right, sir?
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. Hopefully that should be out Monday or Tuesday. Probably.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't want to like just say it and then be like, oh no, we can actually get out on Wednesday, Thursday. So then I'll feel terrible because I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, have it there, or whatever.
We'll record it Monday night, or who knows? We're just getting a bucket of
probably
stuff.
Can't Sunday night though.
Yeah, just you guys get to hear the planning of these.
So exactly, like now you hear how it all starts, the inside.
What's going on, everybody? If you guys are new, comment down below. We'll obviously answer any of your questions, but
except if it's like weird, then
please ask weird. We will not.
All
right, the draft players measurements fantasy. Yeah, Jay, what he said. Fantasy. We actually have to do that as well. I had my fantasy.
That would be cool.
What was
do another fantasy mock draft in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll have some fantasy mock drafts. But I had my fantasy advice when I did McCaffrey, Thomas, and Saquon where to draft them. All 3.
Ooh.
Terrible.
Dude. Well, okay, you can't blame Saquon and McCaffrey. They were just injured.
So was Thomas.
Okay, they were all injured, I guess. Then.
No, but like it's just of the 3 players. Like I didn't do.
Dude, that's just unlucky. I mean,
but I think I might do one on rookies. That's maybe I'll do it on rook. I mean, there's so much.
Would be the best rookie. That'd be good.
It's just but we're starting to talk about, guys. If you're new, we're just talking a little bit more football than Super Bowl. If you want to just rewind a little bit, we kind of discussed, but we'll obviously.
We'll talk anything football. Honestly, Henry. I think honestly, Zeke will be better. I think Zeke will be better because Dak will be back, and Zeke really relies on Dak more than Dak relies on Zeke now, considering how much Dak has grown as a player. The offensive line will be a bit more healthy, so I think also Zeke will probably get catches out of the backfield, so more catches than Henry. So I think he'll be better. But Henry, he's a walking 100-yard game. Even with that poor Ravens game, I think Ravens have a good team. They have a good defense. Obviously, I had that statement that didn't age too well, but it happens. I'm not gonna cry about it. I still think Henry's gonna have a much better season. He's just that good.
I don't know. I've been watching a lot, at least fantasy content, and I think he could have I think we out of the players who have had 2,000-yard season, the next season it's split in half in terms of production. And I think
but I think we said that last year also when Henry was the rushing champ the year before. Right. And then we said he's probably going to have a reduction in production. Oh, that was smooth. That was freaking smooth. I didn't mean to do that. But it was we thought he was going to have less production this year, and he actually exceeded it. I don't think he's going to exceed 2,000 yards, but I still think he's a top easy first-round pick, probably top 5, honestly. I think in our fantasy mock draft, we had that's a good question.
Devontae Waddle or Chase. For me,
any one of them, honestly.
No, Waddle's not.
No. I mean, he might. I mean, he has really good route running.
Wide receiver 1, I think we gotta go with Devontae. I think we have to.
I'm really
the most electric wide receiver I've ever seen in college football, at least when I've been alive, and I haven't been alive for a long time. But Chase, I think if he played, it would have been a lot closer. Chase, I think most likely will have more success in the NFL because of Devontae Smith's size. All right, we got another. Yeah, guys, don't worry. You guys can. I mean, ask us any questions. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be draft. We just got another one from. I don't know why on streamer. There we go. But sorry to answer your question, Caleb Miller. I would say Devontae. Sorry, I did not let you speak. You can go. I
think it's really close. I think they all will be wide receiver 1s for their new team. Not immediately, but they'll eventually end up. No, Waddle will be. I think he combines the way he can combine is really good speed with also really fluid route running, and he's got decent hands as well. I mean, if you looked at his production before he got injured, he was actually outpacing Devontae Smith. So I think
nuts.
He's definitely. I think he's definitely going to be a wide receiver one eventually. I don't think immediately, but I
It's
still think it's Devontae barely. It's really close, just because I think he has everything except size, and I think size you can really bulk up. I think you don't really see that many wide receiver prospects like him. I think this wide receiver class, both wide receiver classes this year and last year's was really good. Last year's had a lot of great depth. This
and
last
look at the performances. You had Claypool in the second round. You had Davis, who went really late. You had
yeah,
CeeDee Lamb. You had Jerry Judy, Henry
Justin
Ruggs,
Jefferson.
Justin
Justin Jefferson. He's the best one.
Yeah, but
And then I think honestly, oh sorry, no. You want to go ahead?
I was just gonna pull up another comment, but if you have some,
Yeah, I think this draft is wide receiver class more top heavy because I think any of these three guys could have gone first last year.
Bateman could be the best.
Bateman could be, honestly. He's really underrated. Kean loves Bateman, I think.
Fan
If
of
he went to Baltimore, that'd be a really good landing spot for him.
Or
But
Terry-
anyway, I still think Devontae is. Anyway, sorry, that's a long answer.
we got from Mr. J. Off
There
top,
we go.
what do you think the upcoming running backs like Najee Harris, Etienne, Javante Williams, Michael Carter, Chuba Hubbard? I think the dude from UCLA isn't
Fantasy draft. I mean,
no, he is. I think
fantasy draft. That's tough. I mean, it depends on how many play. Oh no, you. I think it depends on really.
Yeah, it depends on where they go.
It depends on how many players. Also, I think.
I would
Like,
say they probably will not be drafted. I think
no. I think Najee's getting drafted. I think Najee will get drafted. I think Etienne will.
Yeah,
Chuba maybe.
no.
Michael Carter, Javante. It depends on training camp, really.
Again,
I think
right.
all of them. I think all of them will be on a roster at the end of the
Here's the
season.
thing, I'm gonna say it like this. I think it'll be one of those things. At least is what I do. You'll immediately draft a team, and then you'll go to the waiver wire.
Yeah, obviously that's what I love to do. But I think honestly, right now, I think Najee and Etienne will go. They will go because I think Najee Harris. He looks like he's going to be a day one impact player. I mean, especially if he goes to a team like Pittsburgh, he'll probably be their running back number one immediately. Etienne, he's a really good catcher out of the backfield, so I expect him to go also in the draft. It also depends on how many players there are. Like, if there are 14 players, I could see all of them going, especially considering the lack of running backs that you can get with a 14-player league or something like that. But if it's like 8-player, I'd say 2 to 3 maybe. But all of them will be on a roster at the end of the season. You can quote me on that. I think they're all really good. I like Javante. I like Michael Carter. I like Chuba Hubbard. I think they're all really underrated. I think, honestly, you got to go. I think all of them will be on the roster at the end.
The watch situation is looking.
It's looking bad. I mean, you see outlook. You hear
Texans. Deshaun is like, I want to leave. You have wasted a lot of my career. You can get a insane amount of value, especially
the haul is insane.
I think
it's just looking
out. Why would you keep me?
This is honestly going to be one of the most ugly situations, in my opinion. I think with what's his name? Nick Caserio, Jack Easterby, they're both saying, hey, he's our quarterback. He's not going anywhere. We're not going to trade the player. But it's clear Deshaun, he responded by taking all of his Texans things off social media. I think it's probably going to end with a holdout, and eventually he will get traded because Deshaun would lose a lot of money if he is going to hold out. But then again, he's making so much money. He's like the second highest paid contract in NFL history. So, or at least the NFL right now. I don't know NFL history, but I think really he definitely can afford holding out. I think if he really cares that much about not playing for the Texans and going to a new team, which I think if he does, especially considering how bleak the situation looks, he will get traded. But the situation is looking worse and worse for the Texans, considering how many more quarterbacks that are more affordable that are on the market. So, again, Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, the more quarterbacks that get available, the worse and worse the outlook it gets for the Texans. Because right now, originally you're looking at 5-6 first rounders. Who knows? I mean, four first rounders and multiple players. But now you're thinking that's what they probably say. 4 firsts. Most mock trades I've said is 4 first rounders and a couple defensive or players, something like that. So then now it's going down. It's probably 3 or 2 now by the time, because considering there are a lot more affordable options out there. And that should probably lead me to our next one. I'm sorry, Caleb Miller.
But on to our where's Watson going, or just best trade value for him. I'm going to stick with the Jets. I think the Jets is where he fits the most. I think he has expressed an incredible amount of interest in Sala and LaFleur. I think he fits with this team, and I think, again, he blankets dynamic that the Jets don't have. I think if the Jets move on from Darnold, you get picks from him. And I think, again, with the continuous value of quarterbacks rising, if everyone's like, no, we're not going to – I mean, I'm not going to take on Watson's contract and give up all of our future assets. I think it could genuinely – it's getting a higher and higher chance that he may just sit out and no team will go for him, which is terrible. Again, it's a tough one to think about, but I think best value, I would say Jets. But I think if you're thinking team-wise, I feel like the Jets for the future, but right now I think the 49ers should go all in and get him because that would make them unstoppable, but they would probably have to give up – I mean, who knows? They'd probably have to give up one of their defensive players. Who knows? Maybe they give up like Fred Warner, which they wouldn't want to do or something. But
obviously, yeah. I think the problem with, again, I'm going to the Jets is there. I've said it multiple times, but I think the problem is he's really costs way too much. Like, I think the latest that came out was that 2 first rounders, 2 seconds, and 2 really good young defensive players. So that for us, that'd probably mean Quentin Williams and Marcus May, or John Franklin Myers and Quentin Williams, which I don't want to give up. And I think for a player of Watson's caliber, again, I've said it multiple times, this roster is young and it is good, and it'll probably be good in a few years. I hope, but I think we still need a lot of positions to fill, and Deshaun won't really mask that as well as we would hope, even if he had a 4,000, 5,000 yard season. But I mean, I'm for my best landing spot, even though I'm a Jets fan, I think it'd be really exciting to see him in San Francisco. It'd be really exciting to see him in Carolina, Washington, or Denver. Denver's been going around a lot recently. I think Denver
have good positional coaches. I don't think he would do much there. But another question, what about Trey Sermon?
He was
great. He was very good.
Trey Sherman's one of my favorite ones, honestly, in this draft.
He was obviously because you had Master Teague. I will never get over that name. How did he get named that? Is his name Master? There's no way.
Probably, I would assume. What about Trey Sermon? I think with Trey Sermon, here's the thing I love the most about Trey Sermon. I mean, and you can say that, yes, he played on one of the best offensive lines in college, and he did. Ohio State, arguably the best. But the vision of his, that's what I love about him. Like, even when there are small holes in that they're paving for Sermon, he always has the vision to get through, to find that area and go through it. He has the agility to like kind of stop on a dime and again have that vision. So he combines the agility and vision, which is really what you want in a nowadays running back. I think whoever gets him right now looks like second, third, fourth round pick to that area, I'd say, right? I don't know his exact value right now, but whoever gets him, he's going to be a steal. I love the guy. I saw him. I watched him in the Big Ten championship and the college football playoff, the semifinal. He was really good. I think if he hadn't gotten injured in the national championship, he could have gone a bit different. Alabama would have won, but it could have gone a bit different.
Sorry.
Okay,
yeah. Steelers, Jets, yeah, I agree. But wait, sorry, we just had Corey Davis. I think would be a great free agent signing for the Jets, but I think the Jaguars might be the most likely. I forgot about Trey Sermon. Unpopular opinion. I believe Zach Wilson has a chance to be better than Trevor Lawrence. Reminds me of a poor man's Mahomes. I mean, who knows? I don't
think that's not bad.
I mean, Kellen Mond could be the best quarterback in the class.
Kellen Mond had a really good Senior Bowl. He really
style reminds me of a Hurts type guy where he gets taken late and then comes in and becomes, because that's what people are mocking. The 49ers take JC Horn or Pitts and then go take Mond at 43. And then
that wouldn't be, I mean, he could sit for a year under Jimmy G or who knows, Kirk Cousins.
That's the teams are just like, why would I take on Watson? I mean, yeah, he's probably a lot better. I would much rather take a chance on Kellen Mond, who had a great Senior Bowl against the best prospects in the country. Why would I not take him? And Garoppolo isn't even that bad. I mean, he took you to a Super Bowl when your defense is fully healthy. Why would I trade away a lot of assets to get Watson? I was looking great. And again, the literal definition of a dynasty, and not definition, but when we've seen teams that are great and have become dynasties because they have a quarterback on a rookie contract. We saw Jared Goff with the Rams. He takes them to the Super Bowl. He's on a rookie contract. They're able to take a ton of free agents and because they have cap room because they don't have to pay quarterback money for Goff. And I think the 49ers have a healthy defense. If Mon turns out to be good and their guy, I mean, they'll be right back in the Super Bowl. So I think it just makes more sense for teams. And I think when you have a smart coach in Shanahan, you have a smart front office. I mean, they're looking at that and like, this makes so much more sense.
Yeah, I think one of the most exciting things about especially the top 4 prospects, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance, while some people like Lawrence has probably the highest floor,
Yeah.
their ceilings are all relatively similar. So I feel like any of those top 4 quarterbacks could end up being the best of the class because they all have so much untapped potential, which is why I really like Wilson. I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you, Caleb Miller, that he could definitely be the better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. Who knows? Maybe Justin Fields or Trey Lance could be because remember, coming into the 2017 draft, Mitchell Trubisky was the consensus number 1 quarterback in that draft, and Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson are light years ahead of him. So
crazy to think he was taken before them.
Exactly. Which means I think Wilson could definitely end up being better than Lawrence. Which is why I like him so much, and especially considering he has all these tangibles and all the skill set and intelligence. I think I really think I agree with you. I really think he does have the chance, and really anyone does, in my opinion. I mean, except for Mac Jones and Kyle Trask, because I think they have lower ceilings.
Another question: Mac Jones is overhyped? I don't think so. I think Mac Jones.
I think
you could go to the Patriots there. I think he's a pure pocket passer. I think he's someone who has very underrated throwing arm. You put him in the Colts again, another team. They lost out on Stafford. Why would you go and trade for Watson? Well, first of all, the Texans wouldn't trade within divisions. So
obviously, yeah.
Option, but I think Mac Jones, you put him with a good, obviously a good offensive line, the best in the Colts, and he will prosper. I mean, Mac Jones is a good quarterback. He's not that mobile, but he's still young, so he obviously can run. But for Trask, I'm not a fan of. When you're compared to Jared Goff, already a distasteful pick, but I'm not a fan of Trask.
I think with Mac Jones, I kind of agree with that. Yeah, he's a bit overhyped. I think, although we haven't hearing in NFL circles that he's actually going higher than what media people were predicting to do. And Mac Jones, according to the media, is like late first rounder. So he's probably like, who knows, maybe you could even go in the top 10. Some few people have him that, but maybe who knows. But I think, in my opinion, the reason why I have the only problem that I have with it is that I feel like, again, he has a low ceiling. Unless you want a kind of quarterback that can just steady the ship and not make that many mistakes and rely on a good supporting cast, I don't think he's your guy.
Yeah, I think Mac. Yeah, I agree. Mond over Trask. I have to watch tape on Mond. I haven't watched too much, but I mean, when you can play under pressure, that's already a good one. But man, I think that'll end the live stream unless we got more to talk about, Serge.
Yeah, let's just make sure.
Make sure.
I don't want to miss anyone.
Yeah, we're not. If you guys have any comments, you want to just stay until it hits an hour?
Yeah, we can stay on for like another 5-6 minutes. Yeah, guys, type any questions we have. We would love to answer them. We have so much fun doing this.
Yeah, definitely. We gotta do more live streams. We tried it
because Kian hates me. He doesn't. I think I'm too insufferable over.
Serge, no. But yeah, my mic's not even plugged in. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha.
Ooh, come on, man. That's just disappointing.
My mic's just always it's so annoying. Whenever I play, I don't know if you guys have a MacBook. There's like these things. It's an adapter. Mac is annoying, and Apple scams you and doesn't give you a USB port. But whenever I plug it in, the Wi-Fi shuts off, so I can't plug my mic in when I'm doing live streams. So I just fake it because I'm a faker. We are live streaming later too. Everyone go check out the Sports Star. Great content. Thoughts on Tony is great. Tony is someone who the Jets could take with their later pick. Somebody who makes plays when he catches the ball. The rack receiver, smaller guy, fast. Reminds me of who's remind me of? Not Tyreek. I mean, he just reminds you of the classic speedy guy who's very, very, very lethal when with the ball. Sir, Dustin, you have something to say about that?
Yeah, I think Tony, another player who had a really good Senior Bowl. He's a really good slot receiver. I think he'd really who he reminds me of. I think he's I think coincidentally, because he's also on the Jets, kind of reminds me a bit of Jamison Crowder, I guess. But I think he's, again, really good route runner, really polished. He was a huge number one weapon for, kind of number one, co-number one with Kyle Pitts. So
Yeah, right.
I think whoever they get him, I think they're getting a really good top receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, we got who's the best edge? I think it's going to be Rousseau. If not, maybe. Well, right now, Phillips probably is. But I think it's either Rousseau or Ojulari.
I think it's so
not that great because you have as well Quiddy Pay. I mean, this defensive end class isn't amazing.
I think the thing with the edge class is it's really weak at the top. There's not a really good number one edge, but there's so much better depth than in previous years. Like they have like 7 to 8 top edge rushers, in my opinion. Like you got Quiddy Pay, Ray Russo, Aziz Ojulari, Joseph Asai, Jalen Phillips, Jason Owa, Patrick Jones. Am I missing anyone? I probably am also, because I'm sure there are a couple of Quincy Day also.
Osai.
There are a lot of really good edge. Yeah, I think I said Osai. And then there are just a lot of good edge. I think there are a lot of good edges in the later rounds.
A lot of solid ones.
A lot of solid ones, but there aren't really a top dog, in my opinion. That is really. I mean, there could be one of these guys can burst out and be one of the top edge rushers, especially Rousseau.
Because Rousseau's so raw. I think if he's coached well, he'll be amazing.
Like there's not like a surefire slam dunk pick like there were in previous years with Chase Young and Nick Bosa.
Right. Let's talk about Chase Young.
I think honestly he has I think he's got potential to be one of the best edge rushers in the league. I don't want to say history because that's probably really overhyping him for a rookie, but I think he'll end up.
What did he do in the beginning of the year? Like I didn't see Chase Young at all.
He was injured a bit during the beginning of the year, I think, like ankle injury, something like that. I think really I think the most exciting thing about him was how much he grew as the season went on. He became a better, more refined pass rusher. He was really good at falling behind plays. He was really good. His first step again was explosive as ever. And I think he really has the potential to be him and Nick Bosa. They're probably gonna be two of the best edge rushers for a long time. So which is really exciting for the league. Not for the opposing offensive tackles.
All right, we just got another comment I saw come in. 1 second. It's just I don't know why StreamYards. 1 second. Let that load in from Caleb Miller. 1 second, everyone. You said another unpopular opinion. There we go. Another unpopular opinion. I hate to see this as a Browns fan, but Young is making I think more plays.
More plays for his team than Myles Garrett. I have to disagree with that. The reason why is more because I think Chase Young really has the benefit of playing with 3 other really good defensive linemen in Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. So I think Myles he's a really exciting edge. He was another one who really was a slam dunk pick. I think Chase will probably, in my opinion, Chase Young will end up being better than Myles Garrett. But in his rookie season, Myles Garrett has been much more impactful. And I think you'll really see how good Myles Garrett is once the Browns, if they do, I hope they do, if they get a really good defense and build around him, because they have a couple good young pieces on that defense. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit missed the whole season also, but I think he was really good. Greedy Williams also. So I think I'm really excited to see them when they get healthy. So I think they'll be better.
Yeah, that's it's a good question because I feel like there's a very small amount of defensive players who or defensive ends who go into teams, and Myles Garrett is a game winner. I mean, we've seen he's gotten 2 forced fumbles in a game. It's like players like Khalil Mack, who is just there's no one who can block him.
Yeah,
I would say right now I would take Myles Garrett over Chase Young. I think Myles
right now probably
very, very good, and that's there's so many people who would have a bone to pick saying Young will be better than Garrett. It depends. Again, having better edge rushers obviously is an upgrade. We got Utility Sports in here. What's going on? If you guys didn't, we did a live stream with them. Hopefully, we're doing some more collabs with them soon. But it's a tough one. But I feel like don't compare you. I'm not getting mad at you, Miller, but I'm saying don't compare Young to Garrett. Garrett's making plays for you consistently. He was a defensive player of the year candidate. And he's going to be great for a long time as long as he doesn't decide to do erratic motions with helmets. But besides that, I think he'll be great.
Oh, I agree. I think he'll be a top 5 edge rusher. I think he already is.
Mhm.
But I could see why obviously you want to see that defense as a whole make more production, considering the Browns haven't been the best overall on defense. But I think what Myles Garrett needs is he needs more help on the line. I think you need to target an edge rusher in the draft, even with Olivier Vernon, because he just tore his ACL.
I think linebacker, like a versatile
Linebacker, edge, those are the most important needs. I think
if you
we
get
need to get someone opposite to him.
that would be scary.
That would be scary. The Browns,
They,
they're not that far away from being a good overall, a good defense.
whose mock draft? Joe Marino's mock draft, I believe, on the Draft Network. He had Karamoa and Parsons fall to 28 and 29. I think Parsons to the Packers and Karamoa to the Browns. And right now, I'd say Karamoa is probably rated more highly than Parsons because of Parsons' just locker room stuff.
I saw a mock draft where Jonathan Owusu-Koramoah fell to 30 to the Bills, and that would have been the steal of the draft, considering they probably are going to let Matt Milano walk because they need to re-sign Zero Williams and John Feliciano. So I think that would be a huge, huge pickup for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. It is a tough one.
Yeah.
Because defensively, the Bills have a ton no, defensively it's tough. I mean, the linebackers in need. I think you obviously have Edmonds and Milano, who's getting older, and as you said, will probably let walk. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it for the live stream, guys.
Yep. Thank you guys so much
for the Super Bowl. Hope you guys all enjoy the Super Bowl. There's 8 people on here. Hope you all have a great watch party on the Super Bowl. Hope obviously I hope it was a great game. You guys can always DM us on Instagram, which is linked down below. You want to talk to us during the Super Bowl, all that. More live streams coming soon. Thank you to everyone for the comments, all that stuff. Make sure to go subscribe if you are new. Helps us out a ton. Caleb Miller, this was really good. Thank you, man. Thank you, Caleb Miller. Are you new? Or are you from Instagram? I'm not sure. I don't recognize you, but man.
Yeah, we really appreciate you, man. Those were some good questions.
Great questions. You can always hop on.
Thank you.
You can always hop on, always comment on our videos. We respond to everyone. We're just all about, talking football. We love the game. Hope you all have a great, great Super Bowl. Sorry if I'm lagging tiny bit. Hope you all have a great Super Bowl as well. Subscribe, all that. Oh, Caleb Miller's new. That's awesome. That actually, that made my day. Thank you, Caleb Miller. That genuinely makes my day.
Thank you.
One person. That's the goal. Caleb Miller, we have a ton of content. Yeah, and we'll see you in the next live stream video. Next video will be probably Super Bowl recap. And yeah, Jay, definitely.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 100%.
We have to set that up. And yeah, as well.
We should have guests on this sometimes. That'd be great.
With guests as well. Caleb, if you want to hop on sometime, definitely we'll do that. And yeah, guys, we'll see you in the next live stream. Sorry, we kept saying bye, guys. Thank you for watching live stream. Bye, guys. All right, sorry. All right, we'll see you in the next live stream, guys.
Appreciate that, man.